Hi guys, fellow AROC racers. I'm just going to run you through a couple of laps of Knockhill in the TCR car. It's actually very similar to what we did in the GTA, but we have got some different braking points because we're carrying a lot more speed. So we're over the line in 5th gear. As you can see, we've got turn 1 in Duffer's Dip. The track goes across into the pit lane. Obviously, if there's nobody exiting the pits, use that pit lane. You can see the track goes straight, and then it starts to kink off to the right where this little triangle piece of curbing is. Follow that line with your left-hand wheel. So as we get up to the corner, I've already changed down into 4th. Now I've tried going around here in 4th and I hate it, so I'm dropping down to 3rd. But you can see I'm hard on the brakes well before this curbing, but I'm already turning. I'm following this white line. So a bit further in, and we're coming off the brakes and we're starting to go back on the accelerator. Not full throttle, you don't want to be doing too much on there. Now we can take more of this curb than we did in the GTA. I'm still just going to brush the edge of that red, excuse me, of that red, but I don't want to take all of it. See, I'm a little bit on 2 wheels, but I've got no brakes anymore, and I'm back onto the throttle. Now again here with the left-hander in Leslie's, we were scared of this in the GTA. We're not so much in the TCR car. We can hit this piece of dirt here. The car will lift a little bit, but we can pinch loads of that space. Now, if you allow the car to drift out to the right here, as you then cut back over to the left-hand side of the track, you'll find the back end gets away. So try and hug this left-hand side of the circuit as much as you can, so that we're braking in a straight line. You can see I'm already on the brakes into the green section of curbing, and I'm already steering. I'm already starting to turn. If you're over here on the right-hand side of the track and coming over here to then, you're basically turning left to then go right, and as you brake, you're going to end up in this TED grandstand. So the back end will just break away. So do try and hug this left-hand side of the circuit. As you can see, I'm already turning. I'm off the throttle and I'm still braking a little bit. But McIntyre's is actually more of a sweeping bend than it is a sharp corner. It looks really sharp, but you can sweep through it. It's still a 2nd gear corner. I'm only a little bit on the throttle. Remember, we're on a front wheel drive now, so the more you power up to the throttle as you're coming through the corners, the more understeer you're going to get, and the car's just going to drift out wide. So for butchers, again, I can take a lot more of this curb than you would in the GTA. You can even hit this red bumper. It's not going to hurt you at all. Now, here again is where it gets interesting. As we aim for the chicane, again, what I'm doing, it's the same with the GTA. We are aiming so that the wing mirror almost clips the side of this tyre stack. You can see I'm coming off the throttle and I've started to brake already. It's a kind of a roll through sort of chicane, but you need to be back on the power fairly quickly. So I'm not even at the tyre stack and I've already started steering right. I've stayed in 3rd gear. I'm still on the brakes, but I'm coming off and I'm starting to apply a little bit of throttle. Now then, here's the car position. Look, still teasing off the brakes slowly and keeping a little bit of power in. Look how much of this track you can take. There's just so much of it. I'm barely it's 2 wheels over the red bumper, but the car's a lot more settled than the GTA was, so it's kind of easy enough. I'm almost all the way off the brakes and I'm half on the throttle. I don't want to be full throttle over this grass. I'm sort of letting it coast a little bit. The car runs out nicely. Now then, here we go. Look, I've started to brake. I'm only just approaching the green stuff, and I've already started to just steer a little bit. That's partly correction, but I am steering a little bit, but I'm still on the throttle as I'm starting to brake. down to third gear as you reach the blue and white curbing. Harder on the brakes coming off the throttle. Now I've got quite a lot of lock on here, so I've come a lot more off the throttle and I'm still braking a little bit. Watch the back end doesn't step out, so you have to be careful with that braking. Now we're aiming for here. This is the apex. It's sort of on the exit side of the crown in this corner. We don't want to take any of this red curb because that will put us up onto two wheels, so we want to avoid that, but do take the blue and white. So as you can see, I've got a load of lock on, so I'm only half throttle. I don't want to be full throttle, or else the car's going to understeer and drag me out into that gravel. So on the exit of Clark's, I'm going to run really wide over here onto the blue and white curbing, take loads of that, all the way up the gears, third, fourth. We're going to get into fifth. Now, in the last video, we talked about this patch of tarmac. The darker piece, again, it's sort of 2/3 or maybe 3/4 of the way through. You want to be hard on the brakes. So there we go. I'm on the brakes. I've already gone for my first downshift. I'm going to go down to second. So on the brakes and off the throttle. Down to third already. Down to second. Now my apex for me is here. There are so many ways of taking this corner, and people have different preferences. But my preference is to coast through and be on the throttle a little bit early by taking this apex late. So I'm going to come round and round and round and then catch it late and then power through into the straight. So as you can see, I'm off the brakes now, but I'm still only on half throttle. I've got loads of lock on. I've got the car just where I want it. I'm on the blue and white curbing, which is beautiful. Now I'm starting to come back on the throttle now, but I'm still got a lot of lock on, so I don't want to be full throttle, otherwise the car's going to understeer away. Now then, as the car's almost straight, I'm full throttle, and now we're just going to rattle up the gears and over the start-finish line. We've got a 51.6 on the board, and that was a 51.3, but now we're going to do a lap at full speed, so the same principles again. Hug the left here on the brakes, turn in nice and early and flow around that time. Through the chicane we're going to ease off the throttle a bit and then get straight back on it. A little bit of bouncing, but it's fine. Through Clark, later on the apex, ease it through there. You don't want to be full throttle, you want to be easing it through. Second gear, late apex, be gentle and tease that throttle back on, power up the straight, through the gears, third, fourth, and fifth over the line, gives us a 51.2. Now don't forget, I'm certainly not the quickest driver out there, but I hope that guide proves of some use to you, and yeah, good luck.